What's up, guys? This is Astranox. We got a brand new boss here, side story for 2 weeks, Elisia of the Ice. Hell difficulty here. What you want to do for your teams, you want to double up or triple up on the same element. It will give you speed increase, health increase, and attack increase for the team 1, 2, and 3. So the phase 1, you want to deal AoE damage. You want to attack every target. So these dark crystals that she summons, you need to down them, and you cannot deal more than 40% of their maximum health with one attack. So you down them, and then you can actually deal full damage to the boss. Now if you don't down them, she's going to be in stealth, and she's going to be taking only 10% of your damage, which is going to be terrible. So you need to have 3 heroes that can attack every target. Another thing is that you want to land a debuff or more on those dark crystals, because if you don't have a debuff, they have a 50% chance to counter attack you. So that could be quite devastating, right? Especially, I'm not running any sustain here. I'm running 3 damage dealers, and that's what you should be running as well. Now this is phase number 2. So to get into phase number 2, you need to bring the boss down to 70% health. And then to bring the boss into phase number 3, you need to bring her down to 40% HP. And also, like on phase number 1, guys, if you don't down the adds, the boss will sacrifice one of those adds and deal like a ton of damage, and it's gonna hit all your heroes. So you definitely need to get on top of taking them out. Now on phase number 2, you need to have buffs on your team. Now I have Elisia with defense buff for my team. I have Ruana, so that's pretty decent, right? I got the revive buff from Ruana, and there is a greater attack buff on Glenn. Could be better. The good thing is that with Ruana, this ad of hers keep on doing dual attack, and it's healing my whole team every time because of Ruana. Now something that's really dangerous is that this ad, which is a starving frost troll. Now when he dual attacks, he has a high chance to attack an enemy which is not in the front line. So if he targets, let's say, my Glenn, which is my softest hero in my team, he could take him out, and that would be really bad. So you could be running, like I'm running defense buff, but if it's not up, it could be dangerous. Now those dual attack are, triggering that healing from Ruana, but let's say you're running something else and you don't have that, let's say, luxury. Yeah, maybe you want to run like a hero that has sustain, Soul Weaver, and then you want to also run a knight with Aureus so you can actually, survive better. Now this ad, the Starving Frost Troll, I'm already in phase number 3, but I'm going through the mechanics real quick here. He has a rage effect, which means that if you apply 3 debuffs on the boss, he will remove all these debuffs. 3 debuffs on the boss, he will remove all those debuffs. If you apply 2 of the same debuffs on himself, the ad and the boss, he will remove those debuffs. So with my team, I'm applying Defense Break with Glenn and Elisia, which is not 2 or more, so I'm good. He has an AoE attack on a 3-turn cooldown. It will dispel 2 of your buffs with a 70% chance to make you unable to be buffed for 2 turns. So it's very important that you have buffs up on your team, but then reapply them, because he will just strip them with this avalanche skill. Now another really annoying thing is that this ad receives 45% of the damage instead of the boss. So you're only going to be dealing 55% of your damage versus the boss. So it's definitely slowing things down. And the frost curse that the boss and the ad applies on you is now dealing damage based on your maximum health. And they're also inflicting injuries on you, which is destroying your maximum health. And I mean, it doesn't take much time until your health is at like 50% of its maximum, and they can easily spike you down to 0. So now in this phase number 3, single target damage is a big deal, and that's what you want to deal and you want to deal a lot of it versus this boss, but you also cannot forget about keeping your team alive. So I'm bringing Sustain, Angelic Montmorency here. I have Crow for defense buff, and he can use the horse as well to deal damage that penetrates the boss defense. And I have Melkan because there's a bunch of AoE attacks, and he can actually do counter attacks, so it's like free damage, right? And the sustain from Sigurd's side is quite helpful, I felt like. So you can see that my HP, my health actually dips low quite a few times, especially when, I mean, the more that my maximum health is destroyed, the less health I have, the more dangerous it becomes. You need 70% effectiveness if you want to be optimal versus the boss. The boss has 85% effect resistance. To counter that, 70% effectiveness will be enough. There's the 15% innate resist that you cannot counter. Now, there's various mechanics that the boss can do, the ads can do, but the bulk of the strategy is that. Now, this boss, I mean, she's really dangerous on phase number 3, and you want to rush it, but you also don't want to, get killed. You're gonna need heroes, heroes or hero that can dispel debuffs, and you wanna apply like immunity if possible. So maybe if you had a hero that was able to remove debuffs, and no, let's say Angelica, she can apply immunity and have a nice amount of healing. But the issue is that she will not be able to remove debuffs. So when you don't have immunity up, then you're at a, that's your weakness. So Angelic Montmorency was pretty decent there because she's got a constant stream of healing. And you saw the healing throughout the battle. It was pretty high. So she worked out fairly well. Consistency-wise with my team, I can definitely improve a bunch of stuff. Now the thing is, damage based on the target's max health is halved. Like it's 50% effective. So if you have Daydream Joker or a hero that deals damage based on the target's max health, it's going to be 50% effective only. So remember that. So you could be running Daydream Joker, but you can also be running a different artifact. In phase 2, if you don't have 2 buffs or more, the boss will attack you with a very powerful attack. So it's really important to manage, your buffs on your team. Every time you use an attack that hits everyone in phase number 3, the boss will counter attack your whole team with an AoE attack. So it's important to use heroes which have a single target attack. For your Soul Weaver, you could be using Angelica on phase number 2, so you have a bunch of buffs. And you can use Angelic Montmorency on phase number 3. Or maybe you want to reverse that. But I think like Doris could be really good in phase number 2 as well, because she brings some decent healing, and that defense buff will be 1 buff, and you want to have 2 buffs or more during the phase number 2. I would put Daydream Joker on a single target attacker for phase number 3. If you can do it, like 2 damage dealers with Daydream Joker on phase 3 could definitely speed things up quite nicely, and you should be running a Soul Weaver so you don't go down too quick. If you want to use damage based on the target's max health, you need to have Defense Break debuff on the target so you deal as much damage as possible. Now the effectiveness is cut in half, and the boss only has 190,000 health. The rewards are really good, so I would definitely just clean that shop, just buy everything or as much as possible before the event ends. You can just get that stuff going on auto run as soon as you down the stage, and you will not be losing energy if you fail the stage, so that's always good, even if your success rate is not that high. If you're looking for an emulator, a new phone, or you're simply hungry, check the description of the video. So that's the stats of my heroes. Let us know about what kind of strategy that you ran versus Elisia of the ice in the comment section, and have you successfully done the hardest difficulty, and if so, what kind of strategy have you employed? But yeah, looks like this team was fairly effective. I could definitely be increasing my effectiveness to be landing debuffs more consistently, but there's definitely a bunch of stuff I could be tweaking. These are just my early runs versus this boss, and of course, like, it's hard to have effectiveness at 70% when you might be using those heroes for PvP. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this one, guys. Thanks for watching. I'm Astranox. Good luck with all you do. Peace out for now.